Hi, welcome to my kitchen. Today I'm going to be making baked macaroni and cheese. There's nothing like homemade macaroni and cheese. So we're going to get started. Now I already went ahead and I cooked 1 pound of pasta right here. I have penne pasta that I'm using today. You can use any pasta you'd like. And you want to cook that al dente because it's going to be cooking again in the oven. I have my casserole pan that I greased with butter, so we'll put that aside. So now all that's left is to make our cheese sauce. So let's get started. We'll start heating this up. Okay, so I have about 4 tablespoons of butter. We're going to throw that in. Right now what I'm making is a roux, and it's equal parts oil and flour. So I'm using butter. So we're going to have that melt first. And then I have 4 tablespoons of flour. So once this gets all nice and melted, turn it up a little bit. Now I have 6 cups of cheese. You can use any cheese you like. Okay, I have 2 cups of smoked Gouda, 2 cups of cheddar, and 2 cups of mozzarella. So those are the cheeses that are going to go in. Alright, so the butter is melted nicely. Now we're going to add in the flour. We're going to cook this a little bit just to get the flour taste out. This is a dish that you can make ahead. Make 2 casserole dishes and eat one now, save one for later, throwing it in the freezer. Okay, so that's all nicely incorporated. Okay, so now I have 3 cups of milk. Put a little in. We're going to add a little bit at a time because we want it to thicken. Okay, the roux is nicely incorporated in that, so now we'll add the rest of the milk. Now I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of mustard. Okay, put that in. And I'm going to be adding a tablespoon of paprika. And then 1 teaspoon of salt. Okay. And that's pretty much it. All we have to do now is, as soon as this comes up, not to a boil, as soon as this heats up, we're going to slowly start adding in our cheese. And this way we can put the whole thing together. Now we like a little crispy crust on top. So when this is all done, in the end, right before it goes in the oven, I like to take a 1/4 cup of some breadcrumbs and a little bit of butter, melted butter, mix it up, and then just sprinkle it on the top. So I'm going to put the cheese that's the hardest to melt, at least the longest to melt, which is my smoked Gouda. I'm just going to dump that in. So at this point you want to constantly, slowly stir it. You know, you just don't want anything sticking to the bottom. We want to have a nice creamy cheese sauce for the macaroni and cheese. I have the oven already set at 375. Okay, the Gouda's already starting to get nice and soft. It's still holding its shape, but it is softening up. Okay, let's go ahead and add the mozzarella. Again, it's whatever cheese you'd like to use. So you'll be adding, because this is 6 cups of cheese, so you'll be adding 2 cups at a time just to give it a chance to heat up, start melting. Now what we have left is the cheddar cheese. I try not to buy shredded cheddar cheese because the company coats it with something to keep it from sticking. And it doesn't really melt properly. So I like to buy the block of cheddar and cut it myself. This way it melts really nice and creamy. Okay, so now let's just add the cheddar. So you just want to continue stirring until it's nicely incorporated. I do have this on high. I have this on a number 8. So that's why I don't want to walk away. It's already starting to get stringy. So now you can see it's starting to break down nicely. Just got to give it a little time. Each cheese has its own time on when it'll melt down. Of course, the harder the cheese, the longer it'll take. And again, any combination of cheese. If you just want to use cheddar, then just use cheddar. I like the combination of cheeses. It's more of an adult mac and cheese for me. So we're just going to continue to stir. It's almost done. Then we're going to put our pasta in the pan and pour this over. coming out very nice. Still a little chunks left in there, so we got to get those down to melt down. At this point I'm going to just shut the heat, but the stove is going to, you know, still be hot, so by that time the little tiny pieces will be melted down. I mean, anytime you shut the stove down, well, an electric stove, not a gas stove, but you usually have, when you shut it off, you have about 5 more minutes of cooking time, because that's how long it takes to cool down the surface. Same with the oven. You shut it off, you still have 5 more minutes of cooking time left in there. So you might as well use it. And then now I know it's still melting, and I know I can walk away now, because I know it's not going to burn because I shut it off. And it's perfect. Okay, so now let's get a pan. Now remember, we greased it with butter. Okay, let's put our pasta in. 1 pound of pasta is perfect. Okay, just break it up if it's sticking together. Give it that last stir. If there's any little chunks left over now, it's fine, it'll all melt. You can pour it directly in if you want. I like to use the ladle. Okay, and then with your spoon, you just want to try to get it in there, get it all covered and incorporated. Okay. Just put the rest on. Okay, so now just put this here. Okay, nice and cheesy. So what I like to add to it is the breadcrumb topping. So I have a 1/4 cup of breadcrumb and 2 tablespoons of butter. Just gonna add that in. Okay, just mix that up. It's gonna look like wet sand. So that's the consistency that we're looking for. just like wet sand. And then we're just gonna sprinkle on top. Have the oven set at 375. This is going to go in for about 45 minutes till it's nice and bubbly and golden brown. So we'll be back when it's all finished. And here we are 45 minutes later, nice and golden brown on top. Nice little crispy crust. So we're just gonna cut right into this. Very creamy. You should try to let it cool down for a little bit, if you can, 10-20 minutes. And here we have it. Creamy cheddar cheese, smoked Gouda, mozzarella, with a nice crispy crust on top. I hope you give this recipe a try. It is so delicious. It goes great with the salad. So I hope you enjoy. And thanks for watching. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.